This is the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class, codenamed W214, an all-new generation model, and well, there is a lot of new tech and features in it. And over the next few minutes, we're going to tell you what is really changed in this car. But before we go ahead and do that, do subscribe to our channel, press that little bell icon, and like and share the video as well. Starting off with the design of the new E-Class First, well, as you can see, it's got an all-new face and it's got this massive star-studded grille. Against a black surface, you'll see these silver stars, and in the center you've got the big Mercedes-Benz logo. There's a camera here. If you look at the bumpers, well, again, they get nicely contoured designs, these pockets at the lower part, and you've got an all-new headlamp. Of course, it gets an LED DRL, and even when you look at the hood, it's got these subtle power bulges, not too loud, and that's what the E-Class is about. It's never loud. So yes, everything about it is subtle, and it just is about having that class in itself, and that's exactly what this reflects, but in a new and a more elegant manner. Moving to the side design, well, when you look at the wheels, you'll get these good looking 5-spoke 18-inch alloy wheels. They've got a really nice design, and well, the tires, I think, yes, personally, they could have had a lower profile, but keep in mind the E-Class, this standard E-Class Long Wheelbase is not a car aimed at motoring enthusiasts. And for a comfortable drive, you need higher profile tires, and that's exactly what you get here. Also, when you look at the overall side design, like I said, it's not like a complete breakaway from the older E-Class, but yes, there are a good number of changes, and the car continues to look handsome and elegant. And as a result of that, you've got these really long doors and a car that really has a very good road presence because of its sheer size. It has also now become a bit taller than the older E-Class, and as a result of that, it just comes across as a big or a bigger car. But overall, it looks good. It's got very good dynamic road presence. You also get this Maybach style quarter glass here, so you can see some premium bits coming in from the more expensive models filtering here. You've got these flush fitting door handles now, so these, well, they just popped out, and these aid aerodynamics, because once you're on the move, they'll again go in, and that just gives the car a cleaner body, or the air just flows over more easily. And as you move back, you also get the sloping roofline, which gives the E a bit of a dynamism. And then we finally come to the part I love the most, and that are these brilliant looking tail lamps. Of course, it's easy to make out that you get the Mercedes star symbol here, but these really look fantastic. I mean, just have a look at it. They stand out. Of course, this entire cluster, it looks very nice, but that lighting cluster looks superb. Beyond that, it's got a very clean rear, just like you would expect an E to have. A bit of chrome here, again, very tastefully done. And again, if you look at the lower part of the bumper, it's completely flat and clean. And when you put all of these elements together, you get a car that is neat looking, that looks elegant, and most importantly, like all of its predecessors have, I think this E-Class will also age very well in terms of design. Once you get inside the cabin of the new E-Class, well, this is where the maximum of the action lies. You've got an all-new interior, the highlight being this hyper screen. Now, we've seen it on some earlier models before, but finally it's here in the new E-Class as well. And that means right from here till there, you've got screens everywhere. It's a combination of 3 screens. One is this one, the instrument cluster, then the largest one here in the center console, and one here as well. So and there is a lot that you can do using these screens. The good part about these screens, however, is that the resolution, the color quality, everything is spot on in all three of them. They work flawlessly. They've got a lot of features. It's a connected car. You've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So everything and anything that you can think of, it is there in the new E-Class in terms of infotainment and connectivity. Of course, it also gets Mercedes Me, so you can just get a lot.
Learning that sound, but just ask me what a lion sounds like.
Yeah, well, I did not want her to wake up, but that's what happens. You can use that same command and do a lot of functions using your voice commands. But coming back to the cabin now, one key thing that you'll see is that because you've got so many screens, there are very few physical buttons. These are the only physical buttons you have here in the entire dashboard. Everything else is controlled by touch. Some people might like this, some might not, but I think majority of the people like it. That's the trend these days, and that's exactly what the company has followed. One other big addition inside the cabin of the new E-Class is this camera. It's a selfie cam, and well, it can take a selfie, but that's not the reason why Mercedes-Benz would give you a camera. The reason is that you can now use this camera to do a lot of online calls. So if you have to do, say, a Teams meeting with your team members, you can do it from inside the car. You don't have to frantically park the car, run around, go into a cafe, do all of that. No, you can do your meetings from inside the car. You can have the details, the presentation being shown here on the central screen, even at the back. So you can choose to do that and actively be part of the call. That said, some of you might ask that, hey, if you're going to do that and you're going to drive, you're going to end up in an accident, right? Mercedes-Benz won't let that happen. So when you're driving, of course, you cannot see the presentation here. People can see you from the camera if you want them to, but only, I think, till about 30 kilometers per hour speed. Beyond that, it'll not work. So basically, when you're parked, you can take your calls from inside the car, and that's something really cool to have. Beyond that, there are again a lot of new features that have been added. Of course, you've got a very nice looking ambient lighting all around that really lifts up the mood of the cabin. It's already a great looking cabin, but if you want to lift that further, ambient lighting will help you out. You've got this massive panoramic, split panoramic sunroof. Again, adds to the airiness of an already airy cabin. The overall material quality, fitment quality is typical Mercedes-Benz, and I cannot find any fault with it considering the segment of the E-Class. Also, when you talk about the seats themselves are brilliant. The cushioning is almost spot on. The side support is great, and these cushioned headrests with this soft support here, oh wow. It's just great to be in this seat, trust me. The steering wheel, fairly forwards, straightforward controls that we are already familiar with from other Mercedes-Benz cars. And also beyond that, if you look at the overall practicality of the cabin in terms of space given in the door handles and elsewhere in the cabin, you have a lot of that. Enough space to put your bottles and a lot more stuff inside. You have some more space here in the center console. Of course, you can keep a lot of stuff here as well. And there's this big glove box too. So yeah, I mean, look at it from any point of view. Space, features, convenience, comfort, the new E-Class is right up there. And to top it off, it also gets a brilliant Burmester surround audio system that puts out some really fantastic audio quality. Now before I go in and talk about the rear seat, let me also tell you that the new E-Class is very smart. It learns as you drive. So you can select a lot of template settings. So in fact, if I'm driving and I say that, okay, every morning I enter 8 o'clock in the office, I need to punch in my parking ticket. So precisely mapping the geolocation of the car, once you reach the parking place, it'll automatically roll down the driver's window so that you can just punch in your ticket, get inside the parking. At a certain time, if you want to leave, say at 5 p.m. is when you leave, and you want it to pre-cool the car 10 minutes before that, every day it will do that. At 4:50 p.m. automatically the car will cool down. So there's a lot that you can do using those templates, and basically as you use it more, the car gets to know you more, learns and becomes smarter and closer to you. Now coming to the rear seat of the new E-Class, well, there is a lot that has changed here, and in fact majority of the E-Class buyers, because this is the long wheelbase one, majority of the buyers are going to spend their time here, and being here is an experience that you all are going to absolutely love. These new seats are brilliant in terms of cushioning, in terms of side support, shoulder support, again pretty much spot on. And like I said, this one is longer in its long wheelbase avatar. All of that space has been liberated in the wheelbase, so you have a lot of space here. I can easily slide my legs and still not utilize the full space. I am 5 feet 8 inches for reference, with the driving seat adjusted to my driving preference. And you can see the amount of knee room I have. Basically someone can just walk from the space. There is so much space here. In terms of headroom also, if I look, so you can see there is a lot of clearance. So if you're someone who's maybe 6 feet tall or taller, space is not going to be a problem for you in the E-Class. Moreover, this is not the final seating position. Using these controls, I can just change the kind of backrest incline I have, and I can just make it more comfortable for me on a long drive, or after a long hectic day. I can just relax better. These cushions and electrically adjustable headrests work really well. So finding that perfect seating position is very easy in the new E-Class. But that's not all. In a lot of cars, of course, you know, with different heights, there is a problem of under thigh support. Now here, for me, this is pretty much spot on. But what about people who are taller? Say you're 6 feet 2 inches. Well, this button will solve that problem. And as you can see, well, the under thigh support now extends, and I've got more support. So if you're going to be in this seat, well, it's a great place to be in. It's very comfortable, lot of features all around, lot of space. Like I said earlier, this sunroof really adds to the airy feel. But what about privacy? A lot of buyers of these kind of cars at times want privacy. After a long hectic day, you don't want to see other cars whizzing past or traffic. You just want some nice private time. In that case, all you have to do is just press some buttons. First of all, I put up these blinds up here. Then I can also get the blind up back here, and I can close the sunroof, basically put the shades. And after that, I've got a nice, relaxed and a soothing atmosphere. But some of you might say, what about that small quarter glass? Well, they've thought about that too. You'll have to make an effort for that. Pull it up, and there you go. Nicely cocooned in your own E-Class envelope. Very nice place to be in, trust me. And like I said earlier, the seats very good. Now it's a wide car. You might think, hey, you can have 3 people sitting here, but not really. You see this high transmission tunnel here? This means that you can't really have a third passenger sitting in the middle unless you want to torture someone. Also, this car is best suited as a 4-seater. You get this nice wireless charging tray here, and after that you can just simply have a nice comfortable position here, nicely cocooned in your own place of solitude. A very great place to be in. Beyond that, let me tell you that this car serves its purpose really well as a 4-seat car, and that is exactly why you would want to buy the E-Class. That is really what the E-Class stands for: rear seat comfort. And in this long wheelbase variant, with the addition of the new technology and features, this car is now pushing the game to a different level. And now let's talk about the engine. Well, you get 2 engines to choose from, the petrol and a diesel. This is the E220D, the diesel engine. Here you get a power of about 194 bhp. You also have an integrated starter generator which can provide you boost when required, and this is a 48-volt mild hybrid paired to a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Now, how it is to drive, well, I cannot tell you about that because we are not driving it today. We're just doing a static walk around of the car. But in terms of the engine, what I can tell you is that when idling, the cabin, you cannot make out that this is a diesel, except for the moment when it starts. Only that time you can hear that diesel clatter, but beyond that, the cabin is super refined. There is hardly any sound creeping in. So I'm sure that when we drive it, this is going to keep us very happy in terms of noise, vibration, harshness levels. Also, Mercedes-Benz claims the suspension is very comfortable and irons out potholes. Whether it does or not, we'll find out during the drive. But this is what the new E-Class is all about. And as I have told you, a lot of changes in terms of design, in terms of features, in terms of tech. It has now become better, bolder, smarter, bigger, more comfortable, more efficient, and that's precisely what the E-Class has always been about. In this long wheelbase variant, for Indian buyers who are specifically looking at that rear seat comfort, well, that is where the game has completely changed, and this has taken the game to a different new level. Prices and other details we will tell you as we get to know those details, but do let us know in the comments, what do you think of the new E-Class? Does it satisfy your expectations or not?